Hi, Tacoma. Welcome to your TV classroom. Today we have a very special edition, but let's not tell them till after we check it with our zone. I'm so excited. I cannot believe we're doing this. Okay, let's check in with our zones, friends. How's your body feeling today? I'm wondering if they can guess our zone by how we reacted when the camera turned on.
I bet they can.
Mr. Kevin, what zone are you in today?
I am in the yellow zone.
Why?
Well, I'm kind of excited about what you're going to do here for the kids today.
I'm really excited too.
Yeah.
I am most definitely in the yellow zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
But
me
not
too.
because I'm worried. I'm just really excited.
Really
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Do you want to tell them, Miss Oslin, what
Oh
we're
my
doing?
gosh, yes. TV classroom, we're going on a field trip to Africa.
The continent of Africa.
The continent of Africa.
In our TV classroom.
In our TV classroom.
One of the things about this virtual learning is a lot of people have created live webcams in nature so that we can go and visit them because we can't get on airplanes and travel there right now. So we're gonna go to Africa, to a couple different places, and we're gonna go into the savannas where all the wildlife are, like the lions and the wildebeests and the zebras and the elephants and the giraffes.
Rashid and Mabel are so excited
They're so
right now.
excited. So here's the thing though, in Africa, it's nighttime. They're in a different time zone. So I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't be able to go, but when I pulled up the webcams, they have night vision on them. So now nighttime, most animals sleep, but some are awake. So we're gonna look at some. We may see some animals, we may not see some animals. But as we're looking through the different places in Africa live, it's happening right now in Africa, we're just viewing it through a camera, we're gonna think about these questions. Mr. Kevin, can you bring up the PowerPoint?
Yes. I will bring that up. Give me just 1
So
second here.
as we're being detectives and maybe being really good observers and being really focused, you need to ask yourself, where are these animals living? Like, what's the things around them? We know they're in Africa, but where are they in Africa? What vegetation do you see? Is there any water? What does the land look
Because
like?
Africa's a huge continent with many countries.
Huge, and many different ecosystems. So depending on where they are, it could look different. And why do you think they live there? And then what are some ways we can see the animals meeting their needs so that they can survive and grow? Are you ready? It's gonna take me a second to get to the webcam, so thank you for being patient as I pull it up. Let's see. We're gonna go down, okay.
And Mrs. Wally.
Oh my gosh.
They're there, Mr. Kevin.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
And this is live.
This is live.
Right now.
So why is it black and white?
Because it's nighttime. And so this is night vision. So we see some animals.
I can see their eyes glowing. I think that's
Yeah.
because of the special camera they have
It
to
is,
use.
and those ones that just walked off are called gazelles, and the ones we see right now are wildebeests.
Wow.
Okay, so we have to think to ourselves, our questions were, where are they living? So what do you see around them? What do you see? I see some grass.
I see like tall grass, but also short grass.
I think the tall grass in the background, because I saw it when the lights were, like when it was daytime, the lights were on, the sun was up. There were trees. So I think those are trees. They're in the background, so they
Okay.
look like tall bushes, but it's
Yeah.
like way back there.
Okay,
Okay, so there's lots of vegetation around.
there is.
Why do we think they live there? Why are those animals there, do you think?
Thinking about their animal needs, animals live where they have access to food.
Food. I wonder if we watch them, I wonder if they'll eat the grass.
Look at that.
What?
It's like they heard you.
It's
I
like they
know.
heard me.
Stop talking about us, Mrs. Wally.
We're gonna walk off screen. Oh man, I wonder if they're gonna, now sometimes they move the camera.
I wonder what that is like flying in front of the
yeah.
camera.
Do you have any ideas at home what that might be? Let's see if it happens again. Oh, there it is. Oh. What is that? Let's see if it happens again. Oh, Rashid, you think it could be some dust? You know it's dusty there? It could.
Oh,
But that thing that was at the top there, it kind of looked like a wing.
yeah.
I wonder if it's insects. Do you think? Oh,
Yep,
it's
that's
flying.
definitely
Definitely
flying.
an insect. That was not dust. Okay. Are they moving the camera? I thought they might be.
No?
Nope, okay.
All right.
I'm gonna see if there's another one we can look at. There are other ones to look at.
This is fun.
Now let's look some information about where we are here. This is the Tau Waterhole. On the northern border of South Africa and Botswana lies a beautiful area known as the Groot Marico, named after the Marico River. This spectacular setting houses Tau Game Lodge, situated in the Madikwe Game Reserve, the 4th largest game reserve in the country. Now you might be asking, what's a game reserve, Mrs. Wally? Well, that's a place where animals are protected. It's a place where they can live and no one can come and hunt them, and they can live in peace, and nobody like changes how they live. They just let them live in the natural environment. And they have different, like sometimes some hotels and some different people live on the edges, and they protect those animals in their area, which is really wonderful that they take such good care of their nature. The lodge overlooks Tau Waterhole, an oasis for animals and wildlife, including elephants, giraffes, lions, zebras, and cheetahs. So I think, Mr. Kevin,
Wow.
if we came back another day, maybe really early to the TV classroom, we came back to this water hole, I wonder if we'd see some really fun stuff. I think we might. So we might have to do that for you, but we'll see. Mr. Kevin and I will talk. Let's see if we can find a different place to look at that's live.
I just looked it up, and it's Madikwe.
Oh, thank you very much. There's no way I'm going to be able to say that. Can you
That's
say that
okay.
again?
Madikwe.
Madikwe?
Madikwe.
Madikwe. Yeah, names matter. There was another really cool one I was looking at earlier.
So that one was like South Africa and Botswana, so at the very kind of bottom of the continent.
This one's at the Sabi Sand Game Reserve.
Okay.
The Nokoro Bush Lodge is home to an incredible diversity of wildlife and is the premier way to experience the African bushveld. Let's look here. Let's see what's here. Let's see if we see anything.
Oh.
Do you see any wildlife, any animals?
Oh, there's another insect.
I see those insects again.
Are those ducks or something?
I was going to say
floating?
there's something in the water.
Yeah.
I think they are ducks. There's some kind of fowl, some kind
Yeah.
of bird. I wonder where they live and why they're there. So let's look at this. Let's look at the background here.
Yeah.
What do we see?
Well, this is different than the previous one because I see water.
Oh yeah, there's definitely water.
That's different.
I also see what looks like kind of dirt on the banks of the water. And I definitely see trees in the background.
And grass.
That moon is really beautiful.
It is. Is it a full moon?
It looks like almost a full moon. I don't know if today's a full moon or not. I'll have to look. I wonder why the ducks are at this spot.
Oh.
Do you have any ideas, friends? Why might the ducks be here and not at the last place we were? What was that, Mabel? Ducks need water to survive.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they're definitely sleeping on the water. So they chose to be here because they need the water to survive. The wildebeest needed the grass to eat. The ducks are sleeping in the water. I'm wondering if the water is safer for the ducks to sleep on than sleeping nestled on the land.
Oh, because you talked about like cheetahs.
Yeah. Like there's big predators. There's apex predators there.
Yeah, that would want to eat the ducks.
Yeah. And so maybe they feel safer in the water. I don't know.
Oh. I wonder if there's also different insects here for ducks to eat because of the water.
Yes, I wonder, because I know like when I go to water, I see much different insects than I see here at my home that's not around water. Oh, that's a really good thought. Is there anything else we see? Okay, let's move on to the next camera and let's see if we can see anything else. Okay, this next one we're gonna look at is, no, that's the one we just did, isn't it? The Bush Lodge, yes. This one, the Oliphants River. And this camera is set on the banks of the mighty Oliphants River near the Naledi Game Lodge. This river is a tributary of the Limpopo River. Interesting. It flows northeast as it passes through Kruger National Park and Mozambique on its way to join the Limpopo about 190 kilometers inland before flowing into the Indian Ocean. You know, we're gonna have to have another time where we pull up an African map and we locate where all these places are. That would be so fun.
So cool.
We should do that another time. Okay,
I know
let's look.
The Indian Ocean is to the far east
Yes.
of the African continent.
Oh, they're moving around.
Oh, they're moving the camera.
Oh my, let's see what
Okay,
we're
let's
looking
see
at.
what they get.
Okay, it's got to focus. What do we see?
The river,
The river,
River.
trees,
trees. I bet they're looking for wildlife.
probably, huh?
I wonder if we spot any. Who knows? We don't get to tell the animals where to go, right? We're just lucky if they show up. It's not like at a zoo where they're in an enclosed thing and you can
Right.
find them somewhere.
Even then, sometimes they're hiding.
Yeah, sometimes they are. I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's a log. Or is that a crocodile?
Oh, not moving.
It's not moving, but if it's on the beach, I don't know. Do we see anything? Being really good observers, being focused. Scientists are good observers. They're very focused. We're not seeing anything, but what habitat are we seeing? What do you see, friends?
What?
What are they seeing?
Oh, they're looking close to see if there's something in the bush.
Yeah. Miss Awesome, what do you see?
Well, I see, I noticed that this is like the previous one, that there's water, but this water is different
It is.
because
How?
it's moving
Yeah.
as opposed to a stagnant or still pond.
So, like they said, a river. So rivers must move. They move water from one place to another. I wonder if the ducks would like it here. I don't see any ducks.
I don't see any ducks.
I'm wondering if they don't like moving water. Ooh, what are we looking for?
What was that?
What was that?
Oh, something jumping. Oh, see the eyeballs?
Where?
I see an eye
Oh, yeah,
hiding right.
right. Oh, it was a,
Oh, it's a little something.
we thought it was an eyeball, but it's a bug. But something did move back there.
Oh, is it
There-
like a frog leaping
Oh,
or
it
something?
looks
want-
like a little bird.
A bird? Oh, that's interesting.
The camera's following too.
Yeah, they want us to see it.
They want us to see it.
Yeah. It's like a little, maybe a hen or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, there it is. Do you see it, Miss Osmond?
I do.
Oh,
Boy, you really have to be observant, huh?
you really
really
do,
do.
especially with the night vision.
And patient.
I wonder what kind of bird that's some kind of bird. Now I wonder why that bird wants to live in this place,
But not at the pond.
but not at the pond.
There he goes. Off to the
Well, this
left.
bird's on the land, so it's not in the water.
I was thinking about the ducks maybe wouldn't want to be in the river if they're sleeping in the water. That
Yeah,
the
look
river
how fast that river's moving. It's
Yeah.
moving very fast. Maybe that bird is eating something over in that grass. I wonder if there's some insects or something, or
or
maybe some
worms.
worms. Yeah.
Or maybe a nest.
Oh,
That would be cool.
Maybe they have a nest
eggs in
there.
It
that's-
doesn't seem to be flying.
No.
So it makes me think of, birds that don't fly, like a quail.
Oh, there it is again. I was going to move off, but it's right there.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's doing. Oh, that must be a piece of dust. Oh, and an insect. The thing about being in Africa on this video, it's live and it's wild, so
You never know what's
you
going to happen.
never know what's going to happen. Okay, let's go to a different camera. There was one I wanted to see. I'm going to see if it's still on. I saw it earlier, but now it's gone again. Let's see. It was a watering hole. They must have moved the camera. Let's look at the African animals watering hole. Let's see what we see here. That's different. What do you notice? Do we see any animals? I see an insect.
Looks like maybe they're zoomed in on the shore of the watering hole.
Or is the watering hole behind?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That the log that's lying down, that's much bigger than the other trees
Yes.
that we had seen.
I wonder if there used to be bigger trees there.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe it's more than one tree. Or maybe it's a root of a tree.
Oh, like a fallen.
Because look at the the
Yeah.
right, it almost looks like the root of a tree coming
Yeah,
up
it
out of the
does.
ground. Oh,
they're
we're moving.
Let's see what they find.
They must have seen something. I feel like we could be on this all day.
I know. I wonder
Yeah.
what sort of animal would live in the tall grass and why they would live in the tall grass.
Yeah, I wonder what might be sleeping underneath that tall grass.
Oh.
They said cheetahs and lions. I wonder
Maybe-
if they live there.
And maybe I'm just thinking about if it's dry grass and the color of a lion.
Yeah, that would be really good for camouflage.
Really good for camouflage.
Oh, no, nothing. There was one I wanted to show you because there was an animal sleeping on a mound in the middle of a watering hole. And I was hoping it would be back up because I wanted to talk about it. But I'm not seeing it there anymore. Oh, I see animals here, back at that tow waterhole. Oh,
Wow.
look. Let me make it full screen for us. And this is where we'll end, and then Mr. Kevin and I will talk about coming on during the daytime in Africa
Yeah.
to really look at the animals and see what other ones are there. Look at that.
Looks like more of your wildebeest and,
Yeah.
and
I think
gazelles.
the gazelles
Yeah.
Yeah.
they must live in harmony together because they're not fighting. And I know that there are apex predators, especially in Africa in the safari land. So I'm guessing that those two animals are kind of like friends and get along because they're not attacking each other.
I wonder why the wildebeests live in such large groups. There's a lot of them
Ooh,
there.
are. And I wonder why they're up at night. Why do you think they might be up at night?
Because I think maybe the source of their food.
Oh,
I'm not sure what wildebeest eat. Do you?
I don't know. The other thing I was thinking is I wonder if their predators are sleeping at night.
That's what I was thinking.
And so they've adapted. I
Yeah.
don't know. We're going to have to do some
We need
research,
to do
Miss
some
Oslin.
research.
I think Miss Oslin and I need to do some research, and I think we need to come back to Africa on a different Wednesday, Mr. Kevin. During Africa's daytime, we'll come in early and film
That's
and
a great
see what
idea.
else we can find and
Yeah.
talk about their habitat and figure out why they eat what they eat and what they eat and why they're awake at certain times. I think it could be really fun.
And different habitats.
Yes,
across
we'll
the
be able to
continent.
see them better too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I was just wondering before we close,
Yeah.
do we have a second to look at some of the pre-recorded daytime shots?
yeah, we could. Yeah, there's some pre-recorded highlights that they have.
What is this resource, Mrs.
It's
Wally?
called explore.org, and it's all different live cams from all around the world. You can look at different animals that live in all different
Wow.
places. Sometimes they're live, and sometimes they're highlights because it's nighttime. Like this
Yeah.
is a highlight of one of the watering holes during the day. And look, you can see that there's elephants.
Oh.
So during the daytime, this is not live. This is not happening right now. This is pre-recorded. But during the daytime, we can look and see all the animals coming to the watering hole.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at those elephants.
Isn't that so cool?
Mabel, what do you think?
What do you think, Mabel? You like that? Uh-huh.
I have a wondering about this,
Yeah.
and I wonder if some of our students wonder too. Why is the water brown?
Ooh. I think we should end with that question.
That is a great
Why
question.
is the water brown? And what we would like you to do at the end of this, you'll hear Mr. Kevin talking about sending us things. Maybe you could send us some of the reasons you might think the water is brown at the watering hole. And Miss Austin and I will research it and we'll figure out why the water's brown. Oh, that was really
so much
cool.
fun. Oh, we're back at TV classroom.
Back at TV classroom, no longer in Africa.
How fun.
That
What
was
a fun
fun.
field trip.
That
We'll
was
go
amazing.
back again. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Miss Oslin, can you help us with our affirmation today?
Absolutely. It's the time of day when we get to say something positive about ourselves before we go off to do our independent work. And today, your affirmation is, I am a scientist. You just practiced observing and talking about what you saw, asking and answering questions
Making
about
hypotheses about why things are the way they are.
Oh my goodness. So practice saying that with me.
I am
a
a scientist.
Excellent job today, friends. Mr. Kevin, really quickly, can you tell our students where they can send us their work?
Sure, you can send your work, or you can also send questions for the TV teachers, and will you answer them?
Yes,
Absolutely.
of course.
Okay, so if you need any help from an adult, get your adult's help and permission, and you can send us an email to tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can always mail us in the regular mail, and we've got a mailbox right down in the parking lot, and we can pick that up for you. And it is TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
All right, Tacoma. We had a great time going on our field trip today. We hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And art's next.
Oh, art.
You're going to do
stick
art with Miss
around.
Teresa. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Take your break and then be ready to do some art with Miss Teresa. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Denise Dillenbeck, concertmaster of the Northwest Sinfonietta, and I'm here to share a moment of music and breath with you today. Let's take a moment to get centered together before we listen to music. Put one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Now, breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your breath at the top for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that together one more time. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. We are living through turbulent times. If you sometimes feel the sadness during all the challenges of this school year, you are not alone. When I'm sad, I turn to music to give my heart a lift. This piece by J.S. Bach is one of the happiest pieces I know. I first heard it on Sesame Street when I was a little girl, and it made me want to play the violin. It's called Gavotte on Rondo, and it's a dance music from Bach's time. If I were to think of words to describe how this music makes me feel, I would say jaunty and joyous. Now you try to think of a word that describes the feeling of the music while I play it for you. If you have room around you, you can also try making your own dance to this music. See what feels right to you.
Hi, welcome to Art with Miss Teresa. So today we're going to be doing Japanese anime. And so you're going to need paper. It could either be graph paper like this, or it could be a sheet of white paper, at least one pencil, a marker, some crayons, and if you want watercolor, that's cool too. Okay, so what we're going to do, well, first I wanted to address the fact that I cut my hair this weekend. And so some of my previous videos, I have really long locks, and I donated my hair to somebody to make a wig so that they can, because they can't grow hair anymore. So
That is so neat.
Yeah, it was a feel-good thing to do. And now we're gonna get to drawing. Okay, so Japanese animation style is the big word that turns into the little word. So anime comes from the word animation. And Japanese style, you'll see it in manga, which are these books, which I find a lot of fun to read. You'll see it on TV. And then you might see it in print material or drawing books. So I think it's really neat when you have something in front of you that you can practice drawing, and you can look at it as many times as you want to. There's no rule saying that, you know, you have to memorize it inside your head and draw from there. But it's kind of neat to try different things. And certain parts of drawing are kind of harder than others, like hands, what to do with your hands. So it's nice when you have examples of where people have different body parts. And so these are some of the examples that I brought from home. So we're going to start with the face. And I'm not drawing any particular character. We're just gonna kind of make somebody up. But if you have a favorite Pokemon or a show that you're currently watching online or on TV, that's really cool too. So we're going to start with a basic circle, just like we did for our faces, our realistic faces. And one of the biggest difference between realistic faces and anime is that the proportions are a lot different. So we have normal size necks for realistic photos, but in the cartoons, they have really thin necks and really thin body parts. And so they're not as long or as short as they're supposed to be, but that's okay because that means that they're stylized. Okay, so although your eyeballs are only about this big in real life, in the shows, they might be this large. So our proportions are going to be a little bit different. And their noses are often just kind of a line or a dot. And so we're going to do front view. And if we're doing side view, they're going to be a little bit longer than they should be. It almost looks like Pinocchio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pencil. And I hope you guys can see this nice and clear. But I'm going to draw over it with pen, and then I will erase the pencil lines.
Miss Teresa, I can zoom in a little if that
Okay.
would,
Yeah,
would
that'd be
that
great.
be good? Okay.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make a nose. And a lot of times you'll either have something that looks like this, or kind of a partial triangle to one side or the other, and then a dot. And that's what a lot of noses look like. So that's what we're going to do. So, and if you mess up, don't worry about it. Just keep on practicing. All right, so eyes are really big. And the reason why they're big is so that they're supposed to look cute. Remember, we have the circle, and the closest thing to a circle is what's cute? All right, but just like a normal eyeball, you're going to need an iris and a pupil. So the pupils tend to be really large. So here is my pupil, and the iris has just kind of a little bit of shading because the rest of it's going to be colored. And before they started doing all the animation on computers, they used to draw each and every segment. So anytime there was a motion, that's a whole nother piece of art. And that art had 2 layers to it. So you had the character up front, and then you had the background. So there were people, well, their entire job is to do background art. So they would be doing the school or the baseball field or the forest or the river or wherever your character is set in. And then another artist would come and put another layer on, and they would do all the movement of them. And I actually have quite a few of those at home, so maybe one day I'll bring those in to show you guys. Okay, so most people have eyelashes, so we're gonna give our character some eyelashes. And then I'm going to draw just a little bit of a line to show you that there's a bottom of a line here. And then we have the eye fold. And eyebrows tend to be all over the place. So we're going to kind of make a thin eyebrow. And then you need a matching eye over on the side. I like graph paper because it shows you exactly how far apart things are. And I've been watching cartoons my entire life. And when I lived in Asia, it was the normal thing on TV. And there's a lot of things that you see on TV that are actually from Japan, but they might be drawn in Korea or colored. So there's a lot of people that are working on projects or from other countries. And there are conventions where people go to celebrate this kind of art. And we actually have one here in Washington. And it brings in 26,000 people to the Washington State Convention Center. Can you imagine that? That is so many people. But they share their likes and interests, and I think that's really, really neat. And so we need another eyebrow.
Do you go to the convention, Miss Teresa?
I do. I'm actually one of the people that volunteer, so I give my time to help organize it so that people have a really good time at the convention, that they're safe, and that there's a lot of programming for them. And my job this year is the exhibits hall, which means that people who are selling things like plushies from shows that you might see, or video games, or keychains, or costumes, or wigs, they're going to be there to sell. But this year, they're going to postpone it until next year. So it should be a lot of fun. But I've been doing it for 20 years now. Yeah. Okay. So my person here has a nose and eyeballs. So the character hair can look pretty interesting, but most times there's some kind of bangs. And so bangs are hair that go from here to down here, and mine are over here now. So I'm going to draw. My character is going to have bangs, and it's going to overlap some of their eyes. And then there's going to be all sorts of cool layers. Now, do you see that I'm kind of going beyond my circle? And that's okay because your hair isn't stuck to your head. One of the things I like about anime is that there's so many different kinds of styles and characters. So I'm going to have my person have their hands up here, like to their mouth. And we're going to do as if they're in the snow. And we're going to make those mittens again, just like we did on the other video. And to show blushing, we're going to make little lines across their cheeks. And I'm going to have a little cuff on my mitten. And I'm going to give her 2 hands, so they're going to overlap. She has some side hair. And I'm kind of doing it similar to the card captor character. And yeah, she's actually one of my favorites. So, and not all animes are designed for kids, and so sometimes they have very grown-up storylines. So it's always good to watch your shows with your big people first, so that they say yes or no if it's okay for you to watch. Okay, so my person here. So the faces tend to be a little bit on the shorter side. So your face isn't going to be like all the way long hair. It's going to be almost like it was for like the baby proportions. And most kids are drawn like that. So I'm going to give her long hair. And it could be messy, and that's completely okay. So I'm going to give my person a scarf. And so I'm going to do this kind of out of my head, but it is completely okay to look at a picture and try to draw that picture. And if you make mistakes, that's okay. Just keep on drawing. I've been drawing for a very, very, very long time. And so since she has so much hair, you're not really going to see her ears. But okay, and I'm going to have her have shoulders, and here's where her elbow is, and here's some more shoulders. And again, this isn't anybody in particular. I'm just taking some aspects of something that you might see in a manga or on TV and coming up with a drawing. And since it's going to be really cold outside, I think that we should give her some earmuffs. What do you think? Have you ever been outside without earmuffs? And if you don't have earmuffs, earmuffs are kind of fuzzy balls on a headband that keep your ears really warm. And so I'm going to have them stick out here. And the way that I'm going to tell that they're different than her hair is I'm going to go ahead and give them a color. So we're going to go pink or red. Okay, and I am going to let her have brown hair because I have mostly brown hair. And they've got these really cool things called Copic markers, and they're almost like watercolors, because like when you color with a regular marker, sometimes you'll see the lines of where it started to dry. But with Copic markers, it blends in the way that watercolors do. And I think that they're pretty neat. And sometimes you can get them at the art store or the arts and crafts store, or you can order them online. I get flesh tones, which means that I get people skin color in all sorts of shades, so that if I'm drawing at home, that my characters can look like any way I want them to. And then you don't see the streaks. And again, those are Copic markers. There's other brands. They're just the ones that I kind of like. Okay. And I would love, love, love to see your drawings. So if you can have somebody take a picture and email it to us to this email, that would be fantastic. Or if you want to send it to us to our physical location, that would be awesome too. And I would be more than happy to share your drawings on our little program. Okay. So I'm going to make my person kind of look like me. Oh, another thing that you'll see in animes is that you don't have to have realistic hair color. Like your character can have blue hair, they can have green hair, purple hair. You can have eye colors that aren't what you normally see in people. And I just think it's cool. Or sometimes your character will have cat ears. Or sometimes your character will have really big muscles, like really super large, and they're not realistic drawings, but they're fantasy drawings, which means that you can have your character have a tail if you want to, or your character can be 11 feet tall, or your character could be a talking animal. It's all up to your imagination, and that's one of the reasons why I really love this art style. And I like the shows that are kind of what is called slice of life. So you'll see kids dealing with things in their life and hanging out with their friends at school and after school, and sometimes they deal with their emotions or problems that they're having. And it's fun to watch them go on their journey, and sometimes you can feel what it's like to go through the things that they go through. And so I like that a lot, and I think that it's kind of neat to really get into a story. It's kind of like reading a book, but you get to watch it happen. And sometimes the story does not match the manga. So when this happens, it's because there's different writers and artists that are working on one project, and then the original artist and writer is working on another project. So sometimes they overlap and their stories verge into two different directions. And so it's kind of neat to compare how the book is different. And that's actually true for movies too, because you'll have what happens in the book, and then what happens in a movie might be completely different. So, okay. And so since it's cold outside, I'm gonna make my character here have really pink cheeks. And I think I'm gonna give her an unrealistic eye color, so we're gonna go purple. Although there are some people that have gray irises, because it's a mutation of brown. And it looks pretty neat. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is shading. So if the light is coming from one direction, you'll see that, like if you look in the mirror, you'll see that a part of your face might be slightly darker than the other. So I'm going to have kind of the edges on this side a little bit darker. But I'm gonna go all over. so that we know where the light is coming from. And so oftentimes you'll also see these weird lines across hair, and it's kind of light, and it's also texture. So I'm going to give my character a little bit of that. So
Makes it look shiny.
it does make it look shiny. And so my character is pretty much done. I'm going to give her buttons so that you can tell that she's wearing a coat. And then I'm going to make the coat go out because it's kind of cute. And we're gonna make it snow a little bit. So if you wanna make snowflakes, just like we did in those other videos, that would be kind of cool too. You can make circles, or you can make what kind of looks like a star. It's a shiny. And here's my drawing for the day. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I would really, really like to see your art. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.